Hello, hello, and happy Earth Day, everyone. Welcome to another great and basically final episode of Breaking Bread with Vel Voyage. I am your host, Corey Arbayo. Thank you so much again for joining us. We have a great celebration in honor of Earth Day. So much information, so many great people to share the screen with. And I'm so excited to have them share the screen with you and share their voices with you. We have several different ambassadors broadcasting from not only here in the States, but all over the world, actually coming from broadcasting live. If you're talking about live right now from Scotland, we have one of our great ambassadors joining us. And again, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for all the viewers, everybody that has supported the broadcast, the Breaking Bread franchise from day one, from the beginning to this year, and to see where it's gone, where it's going, and now it's time to broaden our horizons and experience some new things. But I'm again, like I said, I'm so excited. I'm so appreciative of everyone who has supported the Breaking Bread franchise. And so, without further ado, I'm just going to get this show started because we have loads of great guests. I'm going to bring them all one by one. We're going to introduce Miss Tracy, if I hopefully I don't butcher her last name, Kleber. She's the one that's broadcasting from Scotland. Hello, Tracy.
Hi, Corey.
Did I say your last name right? Was it Kleber?
It's
I,
Claber.
Kleber.
Claber.
Kleber.
Yep.
I was close. I was
Very
close.
close.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Also, we got our friends on the run, on the drive to get their bike fitted right now, and for in honor of their Earth Day celebration, Miss Joy L and her better half AC. Welcome to the show. Hello, guys.
Hi. Hi.
I'm
Pleasure.
I'm glad you're driving safe with your seatbelts on. Thank you so much for joining us today. We also have some amazing people that are broadcasting from the California area. They are they did something that is very unselfish, and they created a sanctuary for wolf and wolf dogs. Let's bring on Steve and Paula from Apex Protection Project. Hello, guys. Hello. Thank you so much
Hey,
for
how's it
joining
Hi.
us.
going?
And
Thanks for
great,
having us.
great. And I gotta show one of the sleeping pack. We have a camera live impact. They're actually inside with them at home. So this is great broadcast. But before we get started, I'm gonna have one of I consider her a dear friend of mine, as I consider all of you that have participated on the Breaking Bread podcast. I have Miss Michelle Reed. She's gonna be performing a dance. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on as well. Hello, Michelle. We have Michelle and Ronnie. Hi.
Hello, bonjour.
We are so excited to see your performance today to open up this Earth Day celebration. So I'm going to go ahead and lead it all off to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I want to say, Miigwech, thank you for having us here on Earth Day. This is my good friend Ronnie Preston, and today we are representing Woodland Sky Native American Dance Company. We've been doing some educational events here on Earth Day, talking about the stories, dancing, and just really enjoying sharing our culture with the students here. And yeah, thanks for having us on to talk about this. And Ronnie is not only a dancer and storyteller, but he's a singer. So today we'll actually have a live song being sung by Ronnie. And that's, always so nice. And during COVID, having to dance to recordings all the time, not being able to be around him and other singers who have that skill. So yeah, very happy to have you here, Ronnie. Thank you. And Ronnie, if you want to say a few words about what you do on the daily.
Yeah, hello, good evening, everybody. My name's Ronnie Preston. I'm been with Woodland Sky for we're thinking maybe 7 years, and we've began to make a very traditional Native American dance presentation where we use storytelling and dance to tell our story, and very I think our the company has become very successful, and I really love doing what I'm doing. So what we're going to be doing today is Michelle is going to give us a demonstration of the women's fancy shawl dance, and we're going to let you guys see that, and it's really cool that we actually get to do this on a live podcast. So the song I'm going to be singing is a song. It's one of the original songs that I have composed, and so this is really cool. I don't really get this opportunity to get to. We just did a really awesome program here at the school, and now we're going to give one to you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give to you the women's fancy shawl dance.
All right, and before we do that, I just want to let you guys know Ronnie is also the culture director at the Chicago Indian Center.
The Cultural Education Programs Director at the American Indian Center of Chicago.
Yeah, so if you guys, if you're into the Chicago area, he's the guy to see about, the programs that they do there. I've had the honor of working down there with them, and yeah, just amazing things that they do for their community. And yeah, thank you for singing for us.
And Michelle will be there next weekend doing one of her programs down at the center. So we're very happy to have her back.
Yeah, so much stuff going on. And before I dance, I want to say that tonight, the world premiere of Sadhguru's Save the Soil music video is coming out. So I'll be live streaming that later on today. So yeah, very honored to be a part of that. He travels all over the world and, really trying to help our earth and help our people, help all people. So yeah, we're all connected in that way through Mother Earth, and the soil is a big part of that. Obviously, keeping that healthy also keeps our water healthy, and everything is connected. So yeah, tonight, world premiere of his video, and I again had the honor of dancing in that video. So yeah, super exciting, and in honor of Earth Day. So here we go, Ronnie Preston singing, and I'll be dancing the fancy shawl dance. I don't know if we're able to turn it around. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm going to try to turn this around. Camera. No, maybe not. Okay. I guess we'll just go for it. It's going to be hard to tell. Got it?
Where are you going to dance?
Yeah, just like right here, so if you can show Ronnie. Just do like
My screen is. I apologize for that. We had some technical difficulty. with Ronnie and Michelle. It looks like their camera, their phone, wherever they're broadcasting from. Hopefully, they can reconnect with us. But let's see. Let's see if we can get them back. Let's see if they connected back. I know they're trying to connect back on. Let's see. Looks like their camera is still frozen. So I guess until we get Michelle and Ronnie back on, we will just throw it around. Like, I mean, as far as the beginning of this with Michelle and Ronnie getting ready to open up the celebration, how are you all feeling? Like, as far as Earth Day, I know we all have our goals, what we want to do for Earth Day and celebration, but anybody want to throw anything out there what they're inspired to do for today and then just for every day going forward? Maybe we'll start with Tracy. I always put you on the spot, Tracy.
Well, I always come to Earth Day with a mixture of determination and hope, and also sometimes frustration, because I feel like we all know the challenge in front of us. Right. And I think we should all be taking it very, very seriously, not just today, but every single day. And sometimes I think other things that are happening in the world get in the way or distract people, or there is mixed messaging about what's happening to the planet right now. And I just want everyone to, wake up and feel the same sort of passion that I feel. And as you well know, Corey, in the time we've known each other online, I am a very passionate vegan activist. And my passion and what I do every single day is try to encourage people to take what I think is probably one of the most easy steps you can take to help save the planet, and that is leaving animals off your plate. It has a huge environmental impact, and besides the fact that I have tremendous compassion for animals, it really is something you can do every single day. So absolutely, that's my pitch.
Absolutely. And also, if we're talking about the ecosystem and protecting our animals, the protection of animals, a lot of us don't really know that how much wolves play a huge part in our ecosystem. And Steve and Paula, I gotta tip my hat off to you. I'm so excited to try to get. I would love to come and visit you guys as soon as I can with my family and to see the pack. But I've been a huge advocate. My mom taught me this from day one, and she always used to try to donate to little organizations here and there. And one of my things that she used to donate for was the wolf. And so to have you both on and what you do to protect wolves and have a sanctuary for them, that's huge. Tell us a little bit about like what Tracy was going on, like, as far as if you could continue with that, your Earth Day goals, or what you want to do for the pack itself.
Well, we were just talking about it, and for us, we spend so much time every day outside with these guys, and the really special thing about these animals is how present they are at any given moment, and how connected to everything in the earth they are, and it really can be life-changing when you interact with these animals, because we as humans forget that we're part of the earth. We tend to think that we're walking on the earth, and other species don't see themselves that way. They see themselves as the whole part of the matrix of what the earth is, and part of the earth, and being reminded of that really helps in shifting your whole perception of being here and connecting with the energy and wanting to protect the earth more. So by protecting this beautiful species that's so important for the ecosystem, we get to stay in that present space a lot more often than perhaps before we started doing this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For us, I'm sorry, go ahead. I was just
No,
going to
go
say,
ahead. Go
for
ahead.
us, I think it's kind of Earth Day, and for us every day, we spend a lot of time teaching people about the environment and why it's so important to protect this keystone species, and you know why their ecosystem is important, and why all of this land is important for them to. So we spend a lot of time talking about this stuff on a daily basis, and Loki's just sleeping through it right now. They have a habit of just
It's hard to compete with that one.
Pretty
darn cute.
They have a habit of just upstaging us every time. You can't really get a word in when these guys are around.
If you see a hand, this is one of our volunteers, Brendan, who's our cameraman today.
Well, you both
things so nice. Go ahead, Corey.
No, I was gonna say you both do something so special and that's so important. And again, like I said, I so really truly appreciate what you do for the pack. Like I said, a lot of people don't know what wolves play into our ecosystem, and it's so important to protect them, protect all animals, but especially the wolf pack. It's very important, and everything we do, what we touch, makes an impact, and what you do is so positive. So thank you for doing that. Tracy, thank you for doing what you do. And we also have AC and Joelle. They're on their way, like I said, getting a bike fit. And one of the things that we always say, like as a fellow cyclist and a triathlete, I always say, we make an impact by not driving in our cars. Every little thing that you could do makes a positive impact if you're trying to do something green. And by getting out, getting fresh air, being in your car, being in your your bike is doing something impactful for the environment. And getting out and you're teaching others, you're relating things to others. So how do you both feel, AC and Joelle, about what you do as far as an impact for Earth Day?
Yeah, so COVID, it really pushed the focus towards renewable energy and energy conservation. So whether that be a reduction of traffic, I know in the beginning it was eerily, even in Washington D.C. there was no traffic, which is like something that never happens. So it looked like a ghost town, like zombie town. You could just cycle through major cities, Baltimore City, Washington D.C., Prince George's County, wide open. You could just cycle there safely without emissions, air pollution. I joked and I said we visited Baltimore City, and I was telling my wife Joelle, I said you can actually tell that the air is cleaner now. It's less smog. A lot of the factories that pretty much kind of shut down, for lack of a better term, and the air quality just that quickly you could see. I want to say there was articles written about bird populations flourishing during the time with less traffic. So I'm a huge advocate on sustainable energy, recyclable goods, electric vehicles, so on and so forth.
Right. Now, I think I think it's so important for us to do whatever we can. It makes an impact. Like I said, we could all do our part, whether it's taking part in a park cleanup, taking part in an ocean cleanup, doing things, donating for a sanctuary like what Paula and Steve run with Apex Protection. And we also have a guest just joining us. I'm so glad we got her. We're able to get her on. A good friend, I consider her a friend, and lead cyclist. They just celebrated their 1 year anniversary, and by doing 100-mile century in Southern California. And so I'm going to bring her on, Miss Diana Albanez. Hi, Diana.
Hey there. Thanks so much for the introduction.
Yeah, and what it like we were all kind of throwing around what Earth Day means to us and what we're trying to do as far as our own impact and what we do in our organizations or industries. What does Earth Day mean to you, especially creating this group for all women to get on their bikes?
So Earth Day for me means just what can we do together as a group to help make the Earth like a better place and protect it, right? Because this is a place where we live in. This is where, right, where we live at and spend where we're going to spend our lives in. So with the Gross to Cycle, we are cyclists, right? So cycling really helps with just lowering our carbon footprint and it's a better way to travel, right? It makes less noise, less pollution. We're emitting less emissions out as well. Not only is it good for the environment, but also for ourselves. Helps us live a little healthier, right? It helps with our health. Also helps us save money, and with now especially transportation and fuel, right? So it's an overall good thing for everybody, the Earth and ourselves as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, we all, from what AC was mentioning to what you were mentioning, Diana, to what Steve and Paula were talking about, to Tracy, you know, every little bit helps, from recycling to renewable energy to electric cars to getting out on bikes. Not only is it good for our earth, but it's good for ourselves because we're doing everything, what I would say, more independently. We're not relying on all the gadgets and gizmos. We're relying on our own 2 feet, and we're walking, we're running, we're cleaning, we're moving. So it's good not just for our physical health, but for our mental health as well. As you spoke with AC about, even talking about the pandemic, a lot of people got more motivated to get out and move and to do things because they were isolated. So what better way to do something that was positive? And we all learned, believe it or not, the positive impact by what happened with COVID. When everything shut down, whether it was the boats or their planes, we started to see nature at its rarest. It was almost like Jurassic Park, where we saw animals coming out of the woodwork, which we never even saw before, and they were coming out of this comfort zone, this isolation, and they were actually migrating. We saw whales in harbors, and we saw different animals, different wildlife, frolicking about, because we didn't have all that congestion and movement. So again, what we do, how we do things, really truly makes an impact. And I'm so grateful for all of you about what you do, what awareness that you bring, what help that you bring. So I'm like speechless. I got speechless because I'm so excited. I look at all of you on screen right now, and I'm like, wow, I have all these great people that do some great things. And I've mentioned that prior to our gathering here today. Whatever you do, believe it or not, whatever you all do is making a positive impact, and that is huge. So thank you all for doing that, and I'm sure the viewers are appreciating it as well. I wanted to go with a little bit on Tracy. Tracy, I know you have some things that you're working on, that you're focusing on right now. Can you tell us about what you're working on right now in the media as far as vegan and the earth and the environment and what you do? You're such a huge advocate for animals. I love these pictures. I'm going to try to bring some of these pictures on as all of you are speaking on what you do. But Tracy, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So I have a couple of things that I'm working on right now. One is a book that I'm writing that's due for release later this year. It's a vegan lifestyle book, and the idea behind the book is to demonstrate how, for me personally, veganism has been a wonderful and continues to be a wonderful experience. And just through pictures and words and my experiences, um, demonstrate what vegan life can look like, how rich and wonderful it is. Oh, there's my pizza. I also, during COVID, actually founded a nonprofit that's called Toward a Vegan World. And the mission of the nonprofit is to encourage people to take steps, whether they be baby steps or giant leaps, toward more compassionate and sustainable living. So we are supporting, we've kind of changed the focus. Originally, we started the nonprofit thinking we were going to run our own programs. And when we kind of took a step back and looked around, I and my board decided that there are so many wonderful people doing wonderful things in this area. So we have decided that we are going to actually raise money and support existing programs that are in line with that mission of encouraging compassionate lifestyles. And then I also have a production company called Animal Time, and we are about producing, I guess you would call it compassionate content, all focused on various aspects of the world of animals, from veganism to companion animals to wildlife and marine life. And so I guess that's it. That's what I have on my plate right now.
Well, it sounds like a lot that you have on, but it's going into that impactful nature of what we're trying to do. And what do you find as far as if you're talking about veganism just in general and the support? Is there one thing that is like a huge obstacle, or is there things that you've been seeing in the industry that you're getting a lot of positive reinforcement with?
Well, I think that the biggest obstacle we have is just, cultural indoctrination in terms of how we eat. I mean, that animals are our food source and our food supply, and a whole food system globally that is based on animal agriculture. And, we see what animal agriculture is doing to the planet. And actually, it's interesting when we talk about the wolves, wolves have become a real problem with, the ranchers, are using wolves as scapegoats, and they are behind a lot of this, killing of wolves. And that's horrible to me. It's just absolutely horrific. But I think, sorry, taking a step back, we need to look sort of at the whole global food system, how governments subsidize food systems, how the whole thing works against us right now. The whole system is rigged against us, and it's rigged against the welfare of the planet going forward. So we have a huge job ahead of us. We have to look at, financial systems, agriculture systems, government systems, everything. And, the latest statistic says there are 79 million vegans in the world, and that's 1% of the population. So, we're sort of pushing water uphill right now, but I do see hope. I do see hope. There is more information. There is investment flowing into the alternative protein sector and plant-based foods. I think people, especially young people, are aware a little more of what's happening with the planet, and they want to do their part. So I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged for the next generation. And that's where I think we should put a lot of emphasis on education.
Absolutely. And I see the younger generation, even, my nieces and nephews, I look at them, they're in their early 20s now. And I see them being as mindful, not just for their own bodies, but how it's impacting the environment. They talk, I get a phone call from my mom. Hey, grandma, they're telling, hey, grandma, this is what's going on. You shouldn't eat this, or you shouldn't do this. And it's great to hear that the younger generation is embracing that. I think we all need to kind of continue that. And I think all of us here on screen has some sort of emphasis on making a positive impact in that way, where we could hey, we can make you healthier. We can, by getting on our bikes, by, we can see the impact by protecting these wolves. And then what you're offering, Tracy, as much information as you have, and be an advocate for that, and giving
Yeah.
positive information.
Yeah, and I think, my strategy, unlike perhaps some other vegans in this world, is really about positive reinforcement.
Right.
And I think everybody who's taking a positive step, that's really important, because we change our mindset, we change hearts, we change minds, we change palates one step at a time. So, like someone said, we don't need a million perfect vegans, we need, a billion imperfect vegans, people who are
Right.
just trying to do something different.
Do something
So,
impactful.
right,
Right.
right.
It's all about just trying to do something one step at a time, and trying to make a positive, like I said, making a positive impact. And again, going back to Steve and Paula, the impact that you're providing with the Apex. What is the biggest thing that you got out of? What is the biggest feedback that you got out of anybody that follows you or that supports you?
Well, so much recently. I mean, we've during COVID for us, we usually do about 3,500 kids in free presentations in schools live every year, because we have the same belief. It's the younger generation that they're starting to understand, but getting them to understand that their voice is powerful and their voice is important. It was one of our main goals. And during COVID, we weren't able to go out live, and we started our TikTok account, and kind of kicking and screaming. Our millennials dragged us into it, and what was wonderful about that is where we were reaching 3,500 kids a year. We can now reach like 15,000 live in an hour from our backyard, and being able to reach all of these youngsters from all over the world, and listening to their feedback has been really, really amazing, because just like you said, they're starting to understand. And then this new generation, this up and coming generation, I don't know, we always say we're not going to see it in our lifetime, but I think hopefully we're handing the planet over to a generation, and it will be in much better hands than it was with ours. I think that's really what we've been seeing recently, is that hope is starting.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of it is just examples of what we put out there, the content that we provide, and how positive we could do it. A lot of times we're not really focusing on that. We're really a lot of people push for just content, but it's really impactful, the content that we provide. The more positive content that we provide, like what you both do, is huge. And getting that out to the kiddos early, letting them know what details and how this impacts everything, and that's huge. I look at myself as a parent of a 4-year-old, and I think every little thing that he's a sponge. He's going to absorb everything. So now's the time to instill that. If I'm going to instill all the positives in him, hey, this is what we got to do. Whether it's getting our Christmas trees that we buy live Christmas trees every year, and then we replant them so we don't have to get cut Christmas trees. We actually do that as a family tradition, or doing things like this, donating to an organization like yourself, and then really applauding people like AC and Diana and Tracy that are out there creating a positive word. And I know Diana jumped on too, but I love what your focus was when you created Girls Who Cycle. And there's a few different chapters, correct? Right?
Yeah,
Of Girls.
slowly we've been, like spreading this awareness and
right.
other areas. Like, how can we join like 3 chapters? You can have your own group there. I can't help each other out, right?
Right. And see, I think that's the thing. You did something that is huge, because you actually can make people think like, hey, I could do something that actually helps people too, or I could have something that helps for a purpose. Just like you said, is I, during this time, this COVID time, I started thinking about, group rides and how we can make it easier and accessible for women to get out there and ride comfortably and safely in their own element. And you're starting to see more groups like that pop up, where now it's not just one group, women group organization. There's several across this country now blossoming, and that is huge. And that is not just creating wellness, but that is creating security. Everybody's like, hey man, I could do that. I could get out there and do that, just like, those Tour de France riders. I see it now. I mean, if you look at all social media, it's like people are gearing up now. And now we're celebrating again, as we were talking in the past, we're celebrating the first ever women's Tour de France back on the map, celebrating this July, and that is huge. So everything that we could advocate for in a positive way is going to create an impact, and that is awesome. Anything that you've seen or feedback that you've gotten recently, Diana, in your neck of the woods? I know you just celebrated. I followed that 100-mile journey. That was awesome. But have you gotten any like really structural feedback of what it really means to have this availability of this particular group?
Yeah, well, I saw a lot of the girls that have joined. A lot of them feel like, oh, I'm like a beginner or where to start. But once they see their ability or they get to practice with us, I've seen a lot of them just like share with others. So I guess the knowledge is spreading and also their confidence. So now some of the girls that have joined here where we do our rides, they're 18, even bigger. So it's pretty awesome to see just how learning from each other and going out, spreading knowledge, and it's just like you said, growing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think we need more what we call entrepreneurs like you out there that are doing good. We looks like we got more on another camera here. Yeah, this is it's great just having this conversation on opening doors, and I see that when I sat with the all women's group this past March, when I just sat with Joyelle and I sat with Tracy and a few other ladies, ambassadors of the industry. AC, I know AC, you and Joyelle are part of a cycling group out in Maryland, and I know you're really advocate, like you're all about. I saw some pictures of you wrenching and things like that, but it's great because I see information passing down. Hey, this is I could help people load some information with, hey, how to maintain a bike, how to ride safely. Even Diana has thrown that out. I see a lot of great advocacy out there of how to be out there safely, how to prepare for a ride. So what is the biggest thing that you've seen in your neck of the woods, in as far as the impact, what you guys are creating, what you're doing, your involvement in the cycling community?
So, there's a lot of different aspects of people, kind of coming in new. And one of the things we do, kind of speaking to what Tracy talking about, so we're not vegan, but we like to do healthy and clean eating. And a lot of people, when they take up cycling, they realize the eating habits they had before are not sustainable on the bike, especially when you go 50, 60 plus miles. So we like to explore a lot of products that are more like, say, whole foods. So not as many additives and preservatives in it, closer to what you see. So, we have a coach that gives a lot of recommendations about things that don't have a lot of additives. And we like to educate people how to fuel their body properly. The kind of carbs to eat, proteins, carb loading, how to eat on the bike, because, you can enjoy the bike and ride all day, but if you don't have the proper nutrients going in, it's not going to be sustainable. So we do share a lot of knowledge that we get about, how to keep yourself healthy nutrition-wise, but also physically. And of course, we talk about wellness and say allergies and seasonal things. And, talking about bikes, Adrian, he's more into like, the technology device, I'm more like, okay, this sounds wrong. We got to tweak this a little bit. But between that, we figure out things that are affordable, because biking could be a very expensive sport. So things that are affordable, things that will get the performance you need, but also things to kind of, just the basics, how to stay safe on the bike, how to maintain your chain, put air in your tires, especially for women, because a lot of times we feel intimidated by the mechanical stuff, and we kind of default to men around to take care of that for us. So, a little bit more empowering of women, like, no, you can do this too. Like, this is your bike, you should know how to maintain it. This is websites you can go to that can find things. And, a lot of products now are more sustainable. I've purchased some things, and Adrian is too, like for like our kits or like accessories on the bike that are made from like reusable materials. So that's really
Right.
good to see things that are not just like manufactured, more production, and smog in the air, that they're taking existing items and repurposing them for lightweight performance materials, for storage, for handling, for your outfits, things like that, to stay safe on the bike. So there's a lot of good things going on in the industry, and when we find the information, we share it either through our IG sites or to people in person.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead,
I
Adrian.
was just gonna say, one of the in addition to that, one of the biggest things that happened as far as cycling was the resale market. The used and resale, you just could not get components. So people were making stretch products and or software, hardware, etc. And people were really becoming DIYers who
Mm-hmm.
hadn't before, because they just did not have product in the stores. So tune-ups value was really instilled in the actual bike and frames.
Mm-hmm.
Frames are hard to come by. So people, it was down to you put newer components of what you could find on the frames that you had. A lot of upgrades as far as components with pretty much the foundation of what you already had. So a lot of recycling programs that gave back to youth in the area as well,
Right.
coaching clinics, etc. To really advocate for physical and as well as mental health too, because cycling was one of the safest things that you could do um, during the pandemic, and even still now, you pretty much, if you're out there pushing how we're pushing, 15, 12, anything, 30, 20 miles per ride, that you're either asymptomatic or you don't have COVID, because you're not riding that far at the speeds that we ride with COVID. So
Yeah,
it's safe
exactly.
practice. Yeah.
But it's just a great thing to do as far as a community. If you're able to do that in your community, safely. I know things we the COVID's impacted everything. But yeah, I think cycling is one of the best sports. People took up so many great sports during the pandemic, and they found, hey, I could do this, whether it was cycling, running, if you're talking about the world of just sports in general became huge. And I just wanted to kind of jump on what you were saying as far as componentry, recycling components. I know a lot of people, one of the rent shops close to me, they have a lot of the smaller unknown parts, the hard to find parts. So everybody was going to them because a lot of those were used maybe just slightly, so they would discount them at a good price. So this is something that, again, where it's environmentally impacting by reusing, renewing, remaking it, and creating something that is not creating more of a negative impact. We're doing something that is, hey, if we have the product, we can find a way to kind of tweak it out, fit it, fix it, and have people reuse it in a safe manner. My wallet is actually made from recycled bike tubes. So and it's like any little thing that you can do. There's people out there, like you said, that have apparel companies that make apparel out of recyclable materials and things like that, which is amazing. It's amazing that people are doing more and more things like that. And I'm so excited because we got a lot of great shots as everybody was talking. As Tracy was talking, Diana was talking, as AC, but we got some of the wolves here. And I'm a kid at a candy store. It's like I see. We're going into. Oh, that is just absolutely. I am so excited. I was so excited when I was like, I'm gonna be sitting with the wolves and chatting with the wolves. I'm gonna go ahead and unmic Paula and Steve. What do we got? Who do we got next to you? I'm gonna go ahead and who do we got next to you, Paula and Steve? Like,
This is Thor. He's a
uh,
wolf dog, and he's very happy. He just ate. They're feeding right now, so that's what you're getting to see a little bit of. And so he's coming up for snuggle now.
oh, I love it.
Over there, we've got Betty and Brennan are feeding the pack right now. It's their first meal of the day, a little bit later than usual, but we got Selena over there. I don't know if you can see that, and Riggs being fed, and then Thor just ate, so he's very happy right now. He's ready for another nap.
Let's see if I can bring. Let's see if I can bring the other. Oh, I see that. Okay, there we go. And don't forget, I have information. We are posting information as we speak with all the ambassadors. I'm trying to post all their information. Please, if you want to donate to this organization, the Apex Protection Project. You can go on to the apexprotectionproject.org and find out more information, even if you want to schedule. I think you said you were talking about class groups that you have, Paula and Steve?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So,
I want to just mention right now, as you're watching this is Sarge being fed.
The bedroom is ready. Oh,
Thanks.
okay. Thank you.
And we're feeding, as you see, we've got them going in. We don't close the crate on him, but we have them eating inside their crates, because we live in fire country. And if we need to evac these guys, and we can get them all off the property now in about 35 minutes, and that's 16 wolves and wolf dogs. And we've got them associating the crate with a positive. That way, if we need to put them in there and get them out of here during the fire,
they go quickly and there's no struggle. So they have a positive association with going into a crate or a kennel to get them off. And then you also notice that we do feed them out of bowls. A lot of sanctuaries will just, give them a carcass or throw the meat over the fence. But because we're very lucky in the fact that all of our rescues love people and they love interacting with people, and so they get to be ambassadors for their kind. So by feeding them in bowls, it helps to teach them, to stay calm around food, to be respectful of space, and that way, when they're interacting with the public, God forbid there was food in a child's hand or something, they know not to go after it. So that helps with that as well.
Oh man, that is wonderful. I love seeing all this live in action, and to see and to even go into the details of how you feed them and why they're in the crates and everything like that. But the one cool thing is, it really shows you the humanity of wolves. They can be, in the environment, can be a very loving animal. And it's
very loving anywhere. They're very social. They are highly emotionally developed, probably more than we as humans are. They're very intelligent, and a pack in the wild is really just a family. And socially, they really do take care of each other, and they have a huge capacity to love. And that's something that we're lucky in being able to help educate the public about, in understanding, the depth of these creatures. So,
yeah, their social structure is almost identical to ours. They take care of each other. The alphas, of course, are just mom and dad, not the biggest and the strongest, and not just the male, as we always think of in this country, especially. In fact, the female is the leader of the pack. It's a matriarchal society, and they take care of their children. They take care of their pack just like we do. If probably actually better. We have a lot to learn from wolves, and I know the Native Americans always knew that, and they are really teachers, and they can teach us a lot about how to live with each other and how to take care of each other. And how not to hurt each other, because they're very, very loving, and they're actually very timid. People assume wolves are these vicious creatures, but they stay far, far away from people, give them the chance. We're just lucky that these guys, they really like being around people, and they spend a lot of time with people. There's Riggs and Selena, and yeah, so it's wonderful that they get to be ambassadors for their kind, and they get to do it on their own terms. When people come to
Absolutely.
visit here, we teach them how to go into their world, and they don't make them come into our world. They choose to be around people. If they don't want to be around people, then they don't. So they have this life here. We hike them off leash. We take them up into the hills every day, and they get to hike and play and have play times with each other, and so
And,
they have a good life.
and Steve, where are you located? Where is Apex Protection Project located?
We are actually very close to the farm sanctuary. We're up near Acton, California, just south of Palmdale, in the high desert, where it's usually a lot warmer. It's freezing today.
Freezing. Oh my gosh, it's so cold. Of course, the wolves love it.
Yeah,
They're really digging it, but we're a little chilly.
So here is the deal. Diana, you could take an all group women group ride to the sanctuary, meet the wolves, hang out, and then ride back, have a nice little century ride. I think that would be rad to see the wolves.
Totally
That'd be
You can
And
do this too.
Tracy can come and we can do a whole vegan meal.
yes.
I wanted to say something to Tracy if I could.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
find that like a lot of people are so if you even suggest them moving in the direction of becoming vegan, it's really challenging for many people. But there's an incredible statistic, but I can't remember what it is, and maybe you do know what it is, that if everyone were to just make one meal a week a vegan meal, do you know
Right.
that stat and how it affects the climate and all of that?
I don't know the numbers, but it's tremendous. I mean, it's
Yeah.
tremendous. And if you look at, for example, like Veganuary, just people who went vegan for January, so 1 month of the year, the number of animals and the environment spared and the environmental impact was tremendous. So it just shows you that every action we take collectively is huge. It's huge. So
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
definitely coming on my next trip to California. I was literally at Farm Sanctuary like a week ago. I would have come by.
Oh wow.
If I hadn't.
Oh, well,
So
definitely
I
next
just
time.
got before we go before anything else, I just want to say I know AC and Joelle and Diana both have to go to their, I know they have other obligations. So I just want to tell you both, AC and Joelle, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with that bike fit. Keep
Thank
on
you.
doing what you're doing. Keep on advocating for people out there. Get people on bikes. You and AC do so much great work, and just being out there in the community, giving bicycle awareness out there. So keep on doing. Thank you so much. Tell AC thank you too. Diana, thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast. I really appreciate what you do for women in general. You're a strong leader. I continue to follow you. I love what you do, all your reels, everything. Remember, you can follow Diana at Girls Who Cycle. She's has their IG page, Girls Who Cycle, on IG. And I will leave more information at the end of this broadcast where you could connect with Diana and the Girls Who Cycle organization. Again, Diana, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much.
the rest of your Earth Day, and stay and ride safely out there with all those ladies.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And we should definitely think of a collab that we can all do together in person. That would be totally awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stay well.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye,
And it's again what Diana and what Joelle and AC do, again, getting people on bikes, it really uh, raising that awareness. That's one of the things that I do. I actually I actually work with our current city mayor, and I'm part of their bicycle advisory committee, creating safety, safe trails to safe streets, safe roads, and really raising awareness for families that they could get out there safely and have kids get on their bikes. And there's a lot of events. And so this is important that we continue to support one another on that. And hopefully you could get a group ride together where they can go out, like I said, and meet with you at the Apex. That'd be awesome.
They could
And
ride right
so,
across the two. Beautiful.
yeah, and I wanted to continue a little bit more with both of you since I have a little bit more time with you. But is there anything that you really wanted to share with the viewer? I know we got the kiddos out there, this pack out there doing some. They're showing off right now. They're hamming it up right now as we
We
speak.
wanted to go visit Riggs, so we're going to take you on a little bit of a little
Yeah,
journey while you guys are
yeah.
chatting. We'll go and Brennan, you want to follow us? We'll go see a couple of our guys.
All right. And Tracy, here's your chance to get out there and go visit. You have a couple of places you can visit.
Definitely
You're
going to
right
do
around
that.
the corner.
I think
Yeah.
you could probably put this up as a webcam and charge admission because it's like therapy.
Yeah.
Don't you think watching the
Yeah,
animals? I love them.
we already have webcams up, but we just haven't done it that way before. But we do have, people should know if you go to our website, you can come visit. We do private experiences. We're not technically open to the public because we like to we don't want to just mob them kind of like a zoo and have too many people
Right.
here because these guys are very sensitive to energy. So we do a minimum of 6 to 12 people, and there's different versions of the tour, but you do a tour and a hike off leash with the pack. We cook dinner and pour wine at the end of the night and sit around a fire and howl with these guys. And as you can see, we're going to go in and see Riggs right now. And he's probably going to beat me up a little bit because he's named Riggs after Lethal Weapon because he's lovely and friendly, but he leaps through the air and he likes to
There
he likes to leap
is.
through the edge of the pussies, and he's a lot. So we taught him to do this. This is called middle. That stops him from doing that as he's jumping up on
I love it. Love it.
I know. I love you too.
This is Betty, by the way. She's
Oh my.
It's Betty's job to take care of the pack. She's here Monday through Friday. And where is she? There she is.
I know.
I'll put her out. There you go. And can people go? Do you need volunteers, or do you need any help with the at the Apex?
Yeah, we have on our website also as a volunteer application form. We just currently took on. We have about 20 volunteers right now, and
That's great.
it's unlike just like a regular dog rescue. You have to be here for a while, and there's a lot to learn.
Right.
So we have volunteer orientation about 4 times a year, and we bring in people that that have applied to be a volunteer, and then we go through a 4-hour crash course on the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know about being here, because it's not easy to be a volunteer here. These guys put in a lot of work. It's very hot in the summer. It's very cold in the winter. You get a lot of really fun things to do, but you're also doing a lot of work around here. It's a lot of upkeep. Keeping these guys safe involves a lot of, physical labor. Um, and you don't work with the animals right away because they have to get to know you.
Oh, you.
These guys take
Right.
time to bond. The difference between a wolf and a dog is really these guys don't really need you. They have to learn to like you just like a person would. So you can't just put them on a leash and take them for a walk. There's months and months and months of work to go into it. So, a lot of people stay. A lot of people don't make it because it's, like I said, it's pretty rough out here. So,
Right.
but we're always looking for help. We're always looking for volunteers. Riggs is a lap wolf, as you can see right there. He likes to sit on people's laps. He is so social. He's the complete opposite of, and I have to say that all of these guys were bought. They're victims of the exotic pet trade. So, this is not normal behavior. I mean, Riggs could not really live in your house. He's as friendly as he is. He's still wild, and he's still, kind of a crazy critter. But people buy these guys as pets, and they think it's going to work out, and more often than not, it doesn't. And we get 3 to 7 emails a week, asking for these guys to be rescued because people made the mistake of thinking that they were going to be a pet. As you can see in here, we have 8-foot high fences with 2-foot overhang. We're licensed to have these guys here. But most people don't realize when they bring them into the home that they're not easy to take care of, and ultimately end up putting them in the pound. So,
Wow.
to what you see here, as fun as it looks, still this guy could not live in your house and be a pet and walk down the street on a
Right.
leash. They're afraid of everything, including your friends. It takes a long, long time for them.
Wow.
As you can see. So I wanted to mention that when you're seeing him sitting on people's laps and stuff like that, he's a very social creature, but he's still,
Right.
Not a pet.
That's awesome. Oh, wow. No, it's great to know. And again, I put your information up there. I love the continuous work that you do, these rescues. It's huge. And just you and Paula keep on doing this. This is great. And I would love to come down and visit when we get down there from Oregon. I'd love to come down and just visit and be a part of the pack for a while.
Absolutely. Come see us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tracy, as far as what we're seeing here with the wolves and everything, and just everything that we talked about today, what is the best thing that you could offer the viewer, like as far as advice? I know we talked about even going vegan for one day if we have a meatless Monday, or what we could do to really make an impact. What would you say would be a good word from you that maybe can make a positive impact?
I just think it's about consciousness. I really think if we all considered what we put on our plates, what we buy at the store, what we throw away, the footprint that we leave every day on the planet, we would be in a better place. So I think let's all just be conscious, and let's value and treasure the planet, the animals, all of us, in a way that allows us to live better lives.
Absolutely. And don't forget, please follow Tracy. You can follow her on her IG page. You can follow her. You can go to the animaltime.tv LLC, visit and check that out. And even now, can people donate to your organization? Is there anything that they can help with, or any donations that you need?
Yeah, we do accept donations. Our website for Toward a Vegan World is down right now because I'm redoing it.
Okay.
But we are on social media.
Mhm.
So you can follow our work, and I try to share information about the projects that we support.
Mhm.
So that's all there.
Awesome.
And yeah, and news will be coming out through my social media about the book and
Yes.
other
Yes.
projects in the production company. So
I gotta get my hand on that book. Please reserve me a copy.
I will. And
Honestly.
I'll be in the States in October. So maybe and I'm going to California. So hopefully I'll be able to come see the wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to try to come up to Oregon too. If you can get up to Oregon, come and
Yeah,
visit
I
me,
love it.
or else we'll meet halfway somewhere. Uh,
Well, we shot a pilot of our Cook Vegan for Me, our vegan
uh,
cooking show in
uh,
Seaside, Oregon, which
okay.
was beautiful. My first time on the Oregon coast. Loved it. So I would come
Yes.
back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Don't be a stranger. But again, I think it's great. And just to let viewers know, one of the things that I do before we close out the show, one of the things that I do to really build and engage community is when everybody is finalized for the show, I put them everybody in a group chat together so they can kind of meet one another and follow and support one another and kind of find out the details, the backbone, and I think this is the way to continuously build a positive impact, build community, and keep on doing that. Everyone, if you can, if you have an account, if you're doing something that creates a positive impact, create that community because we need to keep this thing moving forward. What everybody talked about today was so vital. What Tracy talked about, what AC and Joelle, to Diana, to even that dance that we got a little bit of the glimpse from Michelle and Ronnie, to Paula and Steve. Please follow everyone if you can. I'm going to leave some organizations that you could donate to at the end of this program. Again, Tracy, thank you so much. You're
Thank
broadcasting
you.
from Scotland. What time is it there right now?
It's 10 past 9 in
10
the
past 9.
evening.
Okay,
It's
so
not dark yet.
that's
It's
not
not
too,
dark yet.
it's still daylight. It's still daylight.
Yeah, in Scotland, we're starting to have very long days
Long days,
already.
long days. But thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing your voice, sharing what you do. Please follow Tracy. You can follow her. You can see her IG handle, Tracy underscore vegan underscore expat, and just follow her. You can follow the Apex Protection Project at the Apex Protection Project on IG as well. And don't forget, I left all their information from the Animal Time TV, .tv to the Apex Protection Project.org to all the other organizations that joined us today. And again, Steve, Paula, thank you so much for sharing your time, sharing the pack with us. I'm gonna keep in touch with you. We got to stay in touch, and I'll definitely, I'll definitely come out there and visit, make an appointment to visit with you two and the pack and the rest of the crew. Tell your crew thank you so much for participating and showing off the animals, the great camera work. Tell your camera guys they did great work too. And please support, donate if you can. If it's not to the Apex, please donate. There's a lot of great organizations that can make a positive impact, and especially in celebration of Earth Day. Tracy, I'll say goodbye to you. Thank you so
Ciao.
much. Please stay in
Ciao.
touch. Stay safe, my friend. Paula and Steve, thank you so much. I will see you again very soon. We'll stay in touch. Everybody, stay in touch. Um, and once again, it was such a great thing to share these wonderful guests and their voices and how they impact the world. Every one of them. And like Tracy was saying, if you just do one thing, even if it's going vegan for one day, doing a meatless Monday, do something like that. It can make a huge impact. With AC and Joelle, we're talking about use recyclable or recycled bike parts. You can find ways to use. I use a lot of my old stuff, and that's how I am able to sustain racing as a cyclist and a triathlete. I use a lot of reused products that I have that I've kept over the years. And join groups, get out, not only is it good for your mental health, but your physical health. Find groups like Girls Who Cycle, all women group. You can find organizations all over. You could actually just Google them and you can find them in their area. And so I'm going to leave some amazing organizations, as this is a huge advocate for relistwolves.org. I know Paul and or Steve and Paula actually really endorse this organization. This is a great way to um, relist wolves as an endangered species. So you can go on there and you can find out more information. I think you could even donate. You could also go to MFest. MFest.org is a great organization that Joel and AC belong to or follow. They do great works as far as even if you're talking about cancer rides and other rides, diabetes rides that actually they create organized group rides or group events. You can go to mfest.org. And one of the great uh, organizations, nonprofit organizations that I belong to is 4oceans.com. 4Oceans. I'm an ambassador for Oceans. I apologize, but they started off as the bracelet company. If you probably are familiar with that, and now they've not just become a national household name for ocean conservation, but also for international. They do things worldwide, and they do some amazing work. So please go and donate to 4oceans.com. You could actually go to One Tree Planted. One Tree Planted is a great organization that actually helps. You could donate, and they actually, for every tree that's cut, they actually replant several other trees in that behalf. So there's always a recycle. I call it the circle of life, the Mufasa effect. When one tree is cut down and several other trees are replanted. Kids Who Explore is another great nonprofit organization which get kids out there in natural environments, help them move and get out in the natural world instead of behind electronics. This is a great organization. You can learn so many things. They have great resources for your own kiddos. If you're a parent like I am of a 4-year-old and you're looking for fun things to do, great resources to donate, great things to participate in. Kidswhoexplore.com is a great organization. Please follow them there. I got two more. Keep Nature Wild. KeepNatureWild.com is another great organization. It impacts everything environmentally, from the oceans to the seas. To the seas to the land. And they do some amazing work. KeepNatureWild.com. And last but not least, one of my favorites, and what Tracy was just talking about, and I'll get to it. Let's see if I can. I'm going to take the ticker off. Let me see if I can. But it is the Farm Sanctuary, the www.farmsanctuary.org. They rescue animals. They rescue everything from cows, chickens, you name it, to all farm animals, to pigs, to donkeys, horses, you name it. They do so much great work. They have several different chapters. You could donate now to the farmsanctuary.org and find out more information, even find a chapter in your area that you could actually go and visit, not just donate to. But again, I want to thank all of you for joining us today. It was such a great show. I was so honored to be celebrating this Earth Day with so many great ambassadors that make such a great impact on this earth. And so, as I close the show, I just want to tell you thank you so much for joining me every month for another great episode of Breaking Bread. I wish you all a great life, great happy Earth Day, and get out and enjoy it. Get your kids, get your friends, go out, have a picnic, unplug, just go out and have fun. And if you can, do something, participate, whether it's recycle today, donate today, do something impactful, have a meatless have a meatless Friday. Go do something like that. But just have a great day for honoring this Earth Day celebration. I will sign off. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you or see you very soon. Cheers.